Attention! Please be advised. The following episode contains spoilers. Don't say we didn't warn you.
Most drowned speechless.
Hey everyone, welcome to Nerd On, the podcast you didn't need but deserve, where
We're doing
all
it.
levels of nerd are welcome.
Yeah, they are.
Yeah.
Even
Today,
if you're a street rat.
even if
Yeah.
you're a street rat,
Or
even if you're a diamond in the rough,
Just a human.
or if you're just a human.
We're just
Don't
human.
go speechless.
Yeah.
Today we're going to be revisiting, if you haven't guessed by now, we're going to be revisiting the world of Disney's Aladdin. However, this time without our special guest, Carolina Ravassa, which
Yeah.
I'm
we
sad about.
had on that episode when we talked about the
Animated.
version. So you can go check out that episode
Mm-hmm.
and see what we think of that movie. I think we all loved it, obviously.
I think so.
So, going into this it's a bit of a thing we'll talk about as
Yes.
far as like it being
It's a bit of a thing.
adapted. Disney's
it's
thing
a
that
live
they're
action,
doing.
yeah.
They're
It can be very
adapting-
contentious.
Yeah.
Before we get into that,
Before we get into that,
who are you?
I'm Ali.
And I'm Tom.
I'm Corey.
And I'm Josh, and this episode is brought to you in part by our patrons over at Patreon. Yes?
And we're not joined today by Caitlin.
No,
We are
that's
not.
why I did it.
Yeah.
That's why
Yes.
I jumped in on that.
Caitlin had some family business to take care of, and we're going OG.
Yeah.
We're going Nerd On
been a while.
OG, just the four of us.
Yeah.
But
It's
what,
been a minute.
what is that
But
thing about Patreon?
if
Yeah.
you are new to Patreon and what that is, Patreon is essentially a membership service, and you can support your favorite creators, say like Nerd On, for as little as $1 a month. You can support us in the things that we do, and you get things like early access to episodes. You get Discord server where you can talk to other fans and us. There's lots of stuff that you can check out. nerdon.io/Patreon has all the infos there.
You're really good at that.
Hashtag join the
Yeah.
Nerd On Nation.
It's like you've done that before.
I'm really passionate about our Nerd On Nation.
Yeah.
Like it's they're
Join
the
the
reason why
Nerd.
we're here.
the Nerd On Nation today.
Yes. Oh yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Cool.
And with that, that brings us to our first segment, because at the end of the episode, we are going to be able to rate this completed work that's
Yes.
adapted.
Yep.
That's
Yes, we
adapted
are.
from an animated film. That's adapted from a story from a long time ago.
Long-
Anyways,
Yep.
Yeah.
and so that allows us to guess that grump.
Most drowned
speechless.
Diamond in the
Iago doesn't talk.
So if you're new to the show, Guess That Grump is a segment of our show that at the end of the show, I say show a lot, we're going to get rate out of 1 out of 5. If you're Ollie, you rate it from 0 out of 5. And 1 being the lowest,
Represent.
5 being the highest. And whoever's the lowest in the group is the Grump of the week.
That's right.
We encourage everyone at home to play along. And
So at
send
the
us,
end of the show, when we tell you the results at the end of the show will end at the show.
Yeah.
Yes.
And you can tell us.
But
who you
before
thought.
we do it,
we encourage everyone at home to play along. Send us who you thought would have been the Grump. What's your number and what you thought about the film?
before we jump into it,
Since I always I start, Ollie's going to interrupt. Go ahead.
Yeah.
for the record, I haven't scored anything less than a 1.
Yeah, I don't know why you brought up a 0.
Just
In
for-
case.
it's this. Yeah.
In case.
We're not going
Secondly,
to bring up your
I
short
feel
film,
like it's
Ollie.
really
In the-
ominous.
in the intro, I said it's a thing. I don't want that to dissuade you guys into thinking what I think of the movie.
Oh, gotcha.
I was just referencing.
It's just contentious.
I was just
when
well, I
there's
was
a remake of
referencing
a
the
beloved
fact-
classic. Yeah.
It's what Disney is doing right now, which is making all their cartoons
Ollie,
into.
we'll bring up 0 out of 5 when we
Yeah.
review your short film. Okay.
What is
So-
it's
Perfect.
Cinderella started this trend, did it not?
Yes.
Maleficent?
right.
Maleficent. Was
Maleficent.
that before
Well, I
Cinderella?
wouldn't count.
Maleficent was the first with Angelina Jolie.
I wouldn't count that as a
I
remake
wouldn't
though.
count that as a
They
remake.
they count it as they're doing live action productions of
Adaptations.
their original properties, and their sole
But
purpose.
if we got specific,
this
So-
is Disney's.
I know, but I'm asking you as a human being,
Yeah.
Tom, if you were to get specific of an adaptation of an actual movie, since Maleficent isn't an actual film, did it start with Cinderella, or was it Beauty and the Beast?
Beauty and the Beast is after.
Okay, so then
But
Cinderella was the
I wouldn't.
catalyst.
I wouldn't. Just for me, just because to me,
Tom,
you-
I'm there with you.
Yeah. Okay. So rating
Regardless.
1 out of 5. Who I think is gonna be the lowest? I think it's gonna be Corey.
You think it's gonna be me?
I think it's gonna be Corey.
Okay.
Josh got to see it with kids, so I think he
I
had a
did
better
get
time.
to see it with a kid.
One vote for Corey.
Make that 2.
Oh, I see. Checking my notes, huh?
No, not
I'm
at
gonna
all.
go. I'm gonna keep it old school and choose Josh.
Okay.
All right.
Old
and
school, I was never the grump.
but I always picked you.
he always
Yeah,
picked
that's
you.
true.
I'll
And-
choose Ollie.
Okay.
None on Tom, so Tom goes first.
Yeah.
Going way not old school.
Yeah. So cool. We have 2 on Corey, 1 on Josh, 1 on Ali, and none
Yeah.
on me. Okay.
Yeah.
So that brings us to the complete spoiler, initial reactions, aka first impressions. If you're across the pond,
Yes.
Yeah.
Who wants to go first?
I will. Go ahead, Josh. He beat me to it.
Everybody wants to go.
Well, I will go first. And yes, as Tom mentioned, I got the opportunity to take my younger niece, who's
Must be
10
nice.
years old, to go see this. And it was an interesting perspective to have.
Was she familiar with the cartoon?
Yes.
Okay.
In fact, so what I will say, my first impressions was I was pleasantly surprised.
Okay.
I walked out of it going, oh,
Mhm.
okay. All right. I'm pleasantly surprised. I really enjoyed it. And I was talking with my niece on the way home because it's like a 30 to 45 minute
And she
drive
was like,
home.
no, Batman.
No.
My niece.
That's
And it was Ollie. Ollie is my 10-year-old niece.
no, there was no Batman.
There's no Batman. And we did discuss a little bit about like the original
Her qualms.
animated, and she was like, "Well, it's not the original animated. It's only based on." So
Disney's
it
original
was
animated.
it was good for what it
Yeah.
was. Like she's like,
It's an
It was-
adaptation.
it was good.
Yeah.
It wasn't. Because I think I said something like, well, it wasn't as good as the original. And she was like, well, it can't be because it was only based on that. And it's like, you 10-year-old
sweet child.
Yeah.
sweet child.
Where's
and it,
Robin Hood?
it got me
Robin
thinking where
Williams?
I was like, yeah, you're right. This is not Aladdin, the animated series from 1992.
Right.
And so all of the baggage that I had from it, I realized was from that.
Yeah.
And it was like,
Which I think is
allowing this
still-
to have its own space
Yeah.
was like, yeah, I can see that it was based on it. I can see some homages to it
Homage.
and
Yeah.
homages.
Okay,
Yeah,
I say
yeah.
homage, but some people
Yeah,
say homage.
So I appreciated it. I walked out going, I did not hate that as much as I thought I was.
There you go.
Corey, since you wanted to
Yeah.
vie for it.
So it's like Ali said, when it comes to recreations of their classic films, it can be a contentious point because it's hard not to compare. Like
Yeah.
it's literally the same name, the same songs. You know what I mean? So it's hard
Same
not
studio,
to
same-
hold the candle up to
Yeah.
it. For me, there was a lot of things that I left being surprised that I liked. Things I didn't think that I was gonna like going in. I left going like, holy shit, this character or this part or this thing
Yeah.
that I had no expectation going into. However, I was let down by a few things I didn't think I would be. So I left.
Wow, I chose
the movie
wisely.
the movie concluded and you left.
Yeah,
The
no.
theater.
I had a good discussion with both Tom a little bit and my wife when I got home. And Aladdin is her favorite animated film. So, and Aladdin is her favorite character in any Disney movie. So she had a lot of baggage going in.
Yeah.
And so did I as well because like I've watched it a bunch with her.
We've had
Grew
to
up on
you
it.
had to
and stuff.
serenade her with that. So.
So I think there was a lot of preconceived notions I tried to get rid of going in. I probably wasn't successful at all of them. So while some stuff I was pleasantly surprised, some stuff I was let down. Little chicken eggy. What are you gonna do?
For moi, so I came in and everyone knows this. Everyone knows this. I have the most love-hate relationship with Disney.
Yeah.
Like I love the theme park. I love the company. I hate its business model sometimes. I hate the fact that it's so hard to not see these as cash grabs. And that's what I hate the most about everything. And I hate the feeling. And this is my
Everything.
own feeling of it's Walmart. You're just trying to sell me the things you've sold me 20 years ago
But Tom loves musicals.
because you throw that shit in the vault and you're like, you can't buy the
I
DVD
feel like
anymore.
okay, the vault thing I'll give you, but I feel like that's just the business, and we're just seeing it on a bigger scale with Disney.
So I did a lot of research about their stance on why they're doing this, and their official statement is pretty much to reimagine their previous works as well as to remind people of their original works at the same time.
I'll give you that. Like there's
Don't
there's
give me
something-
that. Give them
No.
that.
give them that. But what I'll say is that there is something to those old cartoons. They can only look so good.
Yeah.
Right. At a certain point, they're low. I mean, they're amazing
Well-
for what they are. But moving forward, it's hard to kind of
Well,
be like, here's a 4K release of Aladdin, but it doesn't look different because that doesn't make sense for it
Yeah.
to be 4K.
You can't increase the graphics.
I liken this to say somebody like Daniel Radcliffe. Who is Daniel Radcliffe always going to be?
The
even
naked
if
guy
he's
with the horse
naked
on
on the
the
horse.
play.
No, he's
Harry
always going to
Potter.
be Harry Potter.
Yeah.
And so when you're using when you're using something like Aladdin, The Lion King, Cinderella, all these things that they're remaking, live action-ish. Unfortunately, it comes with
Like air quotes live action.
Okay, the
Live
only
action.
reason why it's live action-ish, everyone at home and people who are watching, is
Photoreal.
because CGI Jungle Book, CGI Lion King, it's not really live action.
Yeah.
You'll get performance capture, yes,
Yeah.
but what's real?
100%.
yeah. So
this was live action.
This was like, yeah.
these, no matter what Disney does, are going to come with a shit ton of baggage.
Yeah,
yeah.
I'm
No
gonna-
matter what.
To me, the thing that irritates me is this: it's like they're going to get a lot of money. They're going to either make a lot of people happy, but then there's some things in there that I don't agree with where it gets a lot of contention.
yeah.
Where I think not a lot of people like, kind of like your nieces, where it's like it's different, so let
Yeah.
it live on its own feet, and it's hard to not compare it.
I think you need to
And
both.
so
Do both.
you need to
Some gray
balance it
area.
both,
Yeah.
but you can't be victim to one or the other.
Yeah.
And that's my thing about it. Where I'll actually say the actual impression is, I walked away super impressed.
Yeah.
Super impressed that I walked out of a Disney movie watching a Guy Ritchie film.
Yeah.
And it wasn't a Disney movie with Guy Ritchie's name on it.
Yeah.
Like that was what I was afraid to watching a Marvel movie with Edgar Wright.
Yeah.
That was not going to be an Edgar Wright movie. But instead I got a Guy Ritchie film.
Yeah.
And for better or for fucking worse, that I was like, wow, Guy Ritchie got to do some of his things.
Yeah, what did he want
And
to do?
And some things I don't like. I 100% don't like. But I was like, that my boy, he's doing it for his
made it in
culture.
there.
He's doing it for his
Yeah.
culture.
Yeah.
Like
Yeah.
he's doing it, and he's gonna walk away. He's like, I made that movie. It's like, yeah,
Yeah.
you did make the movie. No exec told
I
you.
think that he
you have to
read
do
that he
this.
was really proud of.
Yeah, and I
like, what
would
he
say
did
like
with
this,
it.
like some people, we'll talk about it later, but it's like some people say a different director should have done X, Y, and Z here and here. But I was kind of like, there's only one other director who I could have done a different version that would have been close to it. But like, I'm just glad that
Joss
he walked
Whedon?
away to it. No. He would have cried and then made
No,
it.
Aladdin would have
Werner
died in that
Herzog.
one.
Aladdin would have died.
Werner
No,
Herzog.
Aladdin would have fell into Jasmine's boobs and he would have done that same guy.
Yeah.
Ali.
I the same went in with, I wouldn't say negative expectations or low expectations,
But terrible
negative
expectations.
but
expectations.
no,
Baggage.
but it was
Baggage.
baggage, a lot
Yeah.
of baggage, and a lot of like not great first impressions with Genie CG. But
yeah.
that's really all I went in with, and also I
They
didn't.
fixed that, right? They changed it.
They must have.
Barely.
I feel like they
barely.
changed
Yeah.
it enough to make it look a little more
Yeah.
acceptable. Anyway, continue.
Uh,
Sorry.
No, I mean, and I went in kind of apprehensive about the person they cast for Aladdin. I don't know. We'll go over the production and his name and all that good stuff. But overall, I left the theater, and while I was theater, I'll just say this: I left the theater being like, and while I was watching it, I was like, oh, now I want Return of Jafar.
Oh yeah.
So I mean, well,
Yeah, I know.
that's
what you mean.
me saying
Yeah.
that
You liked it.
I really enjoyed it,
And you would have watched it again.
I would watch it again, and yeah, that's what I can say.
yeah.
Do you
That's what I
want to
can
do the
say.
production or you want to
Sure.
do a brief synopsis?
I don't mind. Either way.
The brief synopsis, I have an idea. But it's
Well,
gonna
then
be
if
really
you got an idea, then I'll do this.
quick. Okay, so brief synopsis. It's the same movie as the animated movie, except there's no giant snake.
There's
That's
other
No.
There's
No,
one
wrong.
other
Wrong.
very
No,
big
no, 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 no.
element that's to it.
No, no,
he
no.
wants to be a human?
No, with Jasmine.
That she's not like just she's kept behind
She's
that
not
her
vanilla.
mom got killed?
Yeah,
She's not,
Okay,
she's
well,
not
it's a pretty
vanilla.
We
major
can talk
plot
about
They
that
difference.
add
in the
new
movie.
songs. There's
Yeah,
a
but
whole new
it
motivation for the character of Jasmine
In
that
that-
wasn't there before. There's
Right.
an entire new
But
story.
plot
with,
point wise, it's the exact same movie.
yeah,
Yeah.
yeah.
Cool, that's
Except
the
it's
reason.
not, because then I would have loved it.
Ooh.
No, no.
So the distributor is Disney. Director Guy Ritchie, who did Lock, Stock, Two Smoking Barrels, Snatch, which is one of my favorite films, Sherlock, Man from U.N.C.L.E., Rock and Rolla. Production is Dan Lin. Worked on things like The Departed, Terminator 4, The Box, Sherlock Holmes 1 and 2, Lego Movie 1 and 2, and Lego Batman.
And in the gray is the upcoming films.
Oh, cool.
Wow.
That's cool. We got the new Godzilla, King of All Monsters, Godzilla vs. Kong, which I didn't even know is a thing coming out.
That was their plan. That was their Avengers.
I'm very excited about that.
That was their Avengers.
Tom and Jerry, Suicide Squad 2, Johnny Quest, and Wile E. Coyote, which was, fun fact, the name of my guinea pig growing up.
But hold on, real quick. They're fucking making a Tom and Jerry and a Wile E. Coyote movie.
Yeah,
Yeah.
it's great.
What?
I'm
great.
excited.
They got it.
What?
If
They
they
gotta
go
jump on
back
the
to the era
bandwagon.
of like Space Jam and that's like that quality, treat your characters that way, then I'm totally on board. We have Jonathan Eyrick, Death Note for Netflix. This was this.
This is a movie.
I didn't know that.
This is a this.
This is a this.
This is the thing.
And an upcoming Settlers of Catan, and this I knew about, which is like I don't know.
That's so weird.
I don't know.
Dysentery.
Yeah. Well, that's
I
Oregon
know,
Trail.
but still, that's the same. You're still
It'd be
gonna have
this.
the same
I
thing.
build an aqueduct. So
the
anyway.
largest army.
Screenplay is John August, who did Charlie's Angels, Titan AE, Big Fish, Charlie and the Chocolate Factory, and Dark Shadows. Which one were you clapping for? Titan AE?
John August.
Oh, yeah.
Just for John August
All of these.
specifically.
All of these. I'll say Big Fish holds a big...
Not
Fish.
not
Fish
Dark
in my heart.
Shadows, but just John August.
Yeah. And then we have...
Guy Ritchie also did the screenplay.
Oh, I didn't know that.
Him and John August are partners.
Okay. That's
Yes.
cool. Cast. I'm probably butchering this name 100%, but we have Mena Massoud, who did Masood. Oh, thank you. Tom Clancy's Jack Ryan, Open Heart, Masters in Crime. Will Smith, we all know from Men in Black, Fresh Prince, Hitch, Wild Wild West. I Am Legend, I, Robot, and Suicide Squad, and 7 Pounds I'm going to throw in there, which was strangely one of my favorite ones because
Pursuit of
Barry
Happiness.
Pepper, dude.
Pursuit of
Fucking Barry
Happiness.
Pepper's in it.
On Pursuit of Happiness, shout out to Anthony Steves, who was a background in there.
Naomi
Nice.
Scott, who is my fan cast for Kitty Pryde. She was in Power Rangers,
yeah.
Terra Nova TV show, the 33 upcoming Charlie's Angels. Marwan Kenzari, who is he Jafar?
Jafar.
Yeah.
Jafar, yeah.
Ben-Hur, Murder on the Orient Express, which I didn't see. I really wanted
Super
to.
good.
Yeah.
What Happened to Monday on Netflix. The runtime is 128 minutes. It was released May 24th. The budget was 183 million, and as of right now, it's at 207.
That's a big budget.
Yeah. That was
Disney
was that this
Blockbuster.
morning?
Disney Blockbuster. No, that
Yeah,
was
fair.
like last night.
Okay.
But they also
could've changed.
the whole city is almost
CGI.
completely created.
Yeah.
like
Usually-
sets
does that
and
also
whatnot.
usually include marketing budget?
It's their overall budget.
Overall, okay.
Yeah.
So right now, Rotten Tomatoes critic score is at 58% with an audience score of 93%.
The
Yeah.
divisiveness continues.
So yeah, divisiveness
Well, what's-
continues.
What's interesting that I've seen, like looking
What's
at
the critics?
58.
I mean, seeing the audience score.
Interesting.
What I have been seeing just on my social media threads
Yeah.
is a lot of people going, I did not expect to like that.
Yeah.
Yeah, and of course, a lot of people before going in saying, "I've read the bad reviews from critics." So
Yeah.
here we go.
I'll have some to share too. But
Yeah.
I'll kind of going back to my first impression. Honestly, the biggest baggage I had, which is the dumbest one, is like it's hard to get over Robin Williams. R.I.P.
Yeah.
baby. R.I.P.
Yep.
I mean, of course.
That was my biggest concern.
Rest in
going into it.
power.
Well, I mean, what made me feel good about it, well, getting into this, since
Yeah,
it's
we're talking about it. We're
favorite,
talking about
We're
it.
jumping.
favorite, we'll start with favorite character just because I'm talking about a character. Reading Will Smith's response to playing it and how he went about it, I had a little bit of respect for him about it because he was like, I can't do what Robin
I have
Williams
no
does.
No one
respect for
can.
him.
Nobody can do what Robin did. Robin Williams will always hold a special place in my heart. This is me personally.
Oh yeah, I think
and
everyone on
so-
the table agrees.
So you can't recreate that, and how dare you try to? And so he understood that, which I respected. And seeing him do what he did, I was like, he made it his own.
Yeah.
I believe.
100%.
And there were some things that so one of my favorite parts, I'll just talk about it. I really liked what they did with A Friend Like Me.
Mhm.
I thought he made the little jokes that were Robin Williams doing his thing, his own.
Yeah.
And I was a
But
little.
he also had the liberties of doing like the beatboxing in there.
yeah.
I mean, like
they're making it modern. You
Yeah,
know, there's a
which-
little bit of hip hop dancing in there,
to
a
me,
little
it's
bit
like
of hip hop beats in there.
Again, he made the genie his own character
Yeah.
for this, and so like he has
Yeah.
his isms.
Yes.
The Will Smith isms versus the Robin Williams isms. Where
Yeah.
Robin Williams has like 24 characters in his body. Will Smith's like, I'm Will
I
Smith.
mean 24,000.
24,000. But it's like Will Smith's like, I'm Will Smith, so I could do Will Smith stuff.
Yeah.
Which I'm like, yeah, own the role. And like I jumped for joy when I saw the Carlton dance.
yeah.
I was like, yeah, because
Yes.
I mean, you have Will Smith who has all these things, all these backgrounds. It's like you have to incorporate those
Yeah.
things, and it feels good because that's what Robin Williams kind of did. He like brought this legacy of everything he was ever able to bring to all his performances.
Yeah.
And so when you get Robin Williams, you don't get the one character, you get
Yeah.
all of his experience, all of his
Yeah.
performances.
You essentially get like 1,000 actors for the price
Yeah,
of one.
and so
Yeah.
Will Smith in kind does the same thing. It's like, yeah, I'm gonna get the Will Smith flavor, which is like I
Yeah.
super dug.
My other favorite part is specific. I liked any time when they were like, "There's a lot of gray area," but my favorite one was like, "There's a lot of gray area when you say make me a prince," and the
I can
guy's
just
like,
make-
"You see my palace?
You see my-
I know it was in the trailer, and
Yeah.
I laughed every
was
time,
it? I didn't
but
know.
I was like, "That's awesome."
I just want to go home.
So hilarious.
Yeah.
Somebody else?
Are we on favorite parts? We're
Well,
here.
Yeah,
Yeah.
it's kind of an overall
Yeah.
discussion.
Okay. Yeah. I
Yeah.
mean, yeah. Just go being a little Mobius about it.
Mobius.
My favorite part, I think, is any genie part specifically. But I did like the Hitch aspect, and that was the one thing that sold me.
Okay.
Honestly, when I heard Will Smith was the first cast and as Genie, I was like, I don't know. We'll see what happens. I was like, Guy Ritchie's doing it. What? And then like
there were a lot of what's?
Yeah, and then seeing the trailer of the part at the dance with the party, and he's like, just it's like, you gotta go put your move in, and then floats him away. I was like, that's a Hitch move. Yeah, that's so totally Hitch move. And everyone knows me at home. Corey Fun called it out at the theater. It's like Tom is a sucker for those like matchmaker movies, where it's like you have the mope who gets helped out by the guy who has all the moves, and it happens. And it's like, I love that. And when the aspect happened, I was like, that is kind of like what Aladdin in the animated movie was. Yeah. With a little bit of difference with comparatively to a human world, because in human situations you can't X, Y, and Z certain things with like character performance or like character motivations. Yeah. So I was like, I really dug that. I really dug any part that you got to get a little bit more of Jafar. Yeah. I liked, and that's the thing where the pickpocket thing. That was interesting.
That he was also a street rat.
Well, he was a street rat, and like you gave him more of the megalomaniac feel instead of like the I'm just this conniving dude. It's like, that's the one thing I'll say with animated films. Like as a child and with animated, we can get away with a lot of things. We can get away with a lot of single motivations. It's hard to do multi-motivated things with older Disney films, and that's why good newer Disney films now have like there's a backstory and they have a single motivation. Yeah. Before, then there's a little bit more layers. There's no backstory to anybody. You don't hear anything about Aladdin's parents. You don't hear anything about Jasmine's parents. You don't hear anything about like a war. You don't hear anything about Jafar, where he came from. This film does that in such a way where it's
the
like
Sultan actually looking like or being presented like he has power and he is.
Well, he's not a dope.
Like he's competent.
He's not he's not a dope. He's just eating crackers.
I really liked.
He was writing on
shoves him down
a thing. So it's like, okay.
Iago.
So
I gotta look him up.
Yeah, I really appreciate those kind of things, like those liberties of like, oh, they're adding to the characters, and like Genie's like to be free is to be human. Yeah. Which is a little weird to begin with, because like humans, whatever. But I mean, I liked that aspect of it. So
my absolute favorite part is actually two parts in one. Jasmine's reprise of the Speechless song.
Yeah. When she Thanos sang,
when she's snapping everyone into dust. That song had probably the most emotion out of any of the performances in the entire film, and it really struck a chord with me. And I think Naomi Scott just nailed it out of the fucking park with that. The performance, the vocals, the acting in that scene was phenomenal, and it leads right into the scene with Hakeem, which was probably my newest favorite addition to the story. Yeah. Was like how his dad was there, and he came as a kid to work with his dad, and he grew up, and now he's the trusted soldier, and it's like a minute ago he was just like, the law is the law, and it's above all else, and
my sultan.
Yeah, and then he like turns his back on Jafar and is just like, you know what? Yeah, right. The people of Agrabah are the people. Just because this guy's the quote unquote sultan from Making a Wish doesn't change anything.
And he's definitely the replacement for the lead guard.
Razul.
Yeah.
But Razul is there. Someone's credited as Razul.
Because I was like, that has to be him, right?
So, but those two parts together, I was probably the most invested in this film during that. I loved that story.
That whole music video was a music video. I was like, guys, you should do some dope music videos.
Yeah.
Like, because most of it was a one take.
It was.
And I was just like,
one shot.
Whoa. And then like when it sped up and then slowed down, I was like, wow, this is so good. Like, you don't see that. You don't see that anywhere. Yeah. Other than like Quicksilver's sequences in one X-Men movie, a movie.
Yeah.
It's like,
it was really creative.
Imaginative.
It was really well done. And the song is just, it's a new song, original song for this movie, and it was really good.
And you saw the nice vein popping out. I was like, she really...
She was belting it on set for sure, 100%.
Yeah. And she had that teary eye. I was like...
Yeah, she was great.
She was actually one of my favorite... I would say she's my second favorite character.
Well, spoilers.
Yeah.
Well, what way to go.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, we can do both.
Oh, well then, But it's like, wait, I'm saving shit.
Well, I guess if we want to go favorite parts, it's really any of the songs. Like, I was really, I didn't think I could be taken like into it as much, because I had this issue with Beauty and the Beast where I couldn't really like get into it. Yeah, and there was issues that I had issues with the changes right up front. As soon as I saw the changes happening, I was like, I don't like these changes. This takes away from the spirit of it. But with Aladdin, I never felt that.
I'm not that smart, so I don't know who did the music for Beauty and the Beast, the live action, but I know that
Alan
Menken, his original music was used for all this. Yeah. And so like they still kept the soul of it.
Got it.
While doing small little updates and all that stuff.
And just I love the genie.
I was okay. So
he's my favorite character
when
in this.
Arabian Nights started playing, it was really kind of chilling to hear him like do those like very
I
aggressive.
like it. It was a little bit different setting.
Yeah.
And it makes
Yeah.
sense for the changes that they made. It circles back to it, which is awesome. Because at first I was like, I wasn't getting apprehensive, but I was still like kind of like, okay, show me what you got. And then he kicks into Arabian Nights. I was like, okay, I can dig this.
like anytime
This is
he had to
how
go
we're
to a
getting
high
into
note. I don't know the music term. Help me,
Doesn't-
fellas.
doesn't matter.
But it's
You're
like
an
he starts
audience member
going
listening.
into like a more
Yeah.
aggressive sound. I was like, I'm feeling it.
Well, 'cause-
I'm feeling it.
Spoilers before you realize it's an actual flashback. You think it's like
A story.
kind of like
It's the
how
same-
they did in that,
original.
where it's like the genie is that
Because
that
it's
guy.
based off one
Yeah.
of the stories in the technically
Right.
Arabian Nights is a play, and Scheherazade has these 1,000 tales that he talks about.
It's
in the book.
Aladdin
and
and the
Aladdin is
Prince-
one of those tales.
Aladdin-
the boy in the street rat
Yeah.
and the lamp.
But I mean,
essentially.
like,
So,
specifically in the cartoon,
I don't think
when
it's
you
Aladdin.
when you start
but
the movie in the cartoon version, it's that
It's the little
that
pawn shop
merchant
seller,
dude
yeah, a merchant.
it's
who is
Genie.
the genie.
Yeah.
So like I appreciated that
He's
it
got
was
French
like
fries.
the same
Yeah.
kind of thing. Like they made
It
it
is.
that same kind
They
of
scrapped it technically, but he has 4
Right.
fingers, and it's Robin Williams. And
yeah. But that was one of my was just anytime this specifically A Friend Like Me and the other big one.
Yeah.
Prince
I,
Ali.
Prince
I
Ali.
also thought
Yeah.
they treated
Your name?
Abu really
I
well.
loved Huh?
I loved Abu.
Oh,
I actually
Abu,
like how they
yeah,
did
I
Abu,
was
and they
surprised.
hired Frank Welker to do the noises, which he did
Really?
Abu.
Well,
in
he
the
did
first
Abu
movie.
and the Cave of Wonders. He reprised his.
He did?
Yeah.
Oh, good. I was
Oh,
like, it
so
sounded
it was
like
like-
him.
One thing I really liked is how the Cave of Wonders was built. So
Yeah.
inside, so I do, first of all, it's not, it's going to be a qualm, but I don't like the way that the outside was because I missed the giant thing in
Yeah.
the
It
sand.
wasn't as big as I was hoping.
But I did like the layout and how like the carpet room with all the gold was in the same room as the lamp.
Yeah.
One, it truncates it so it makes it nice, but like it kind of gives this really good geography of like all these riches around and
Yeah.
nothing.
Some dusty old lamp way
and
up.
it's all the way on the top.
Yeah.
And it's like it
Yeah.
feels so good to like see that juxtaposition of like there's a lamp, there's all these like other gold riches. Like it's the Holy Grail
It's
in,
a test.
in Indiana
And
Jones.
it's a test.
Yeah.
Where it's like out of all the gold in probably the world, like that lamp is
That old, weird,
more
Yeah.
dusty, rusty lamp.
I was
So good.
I was pretty happy with the way that they handled the carpet because like in animated, you can give a carpet a lot of
personality.
things,
Well,
a
he's
lot of
technically
personality.
still animated.
He is technically still animated, but it's that live action
Yeah.
where it's like, yes, it's CGI, but you're making it look
They made it-
real-ish.
they made it
CGI is just better
work.
drawings.
Well, they-
Well,
yeah.
While it's
They
full
did the
of
whole dead hand
yeah,
when
Yeah.
he got died
I was like, he got tore up.
yeah,
Yeah,
from the
totally.
flow
goodness.
up.
Yeah.
yeah.
So I was like,
think it was
oh,
a
wow.
nod to when he gets de-threaded
He gets like, yeah,
in the original Aladdin.
Yeah. Oh,
Yeah.
He technically dies in that one too.
yeah.
it's true.
I did like it's a contentious part. It's a discussion point, but I did like the change of the third act without the giant snake, with the Iago turning into a fucking phoenix monster.
Yeah.
And I was like, whoa, that was intense. Like, I was wondering what's going to happen. What's the big set piece for this third act?
Yeah.
But I was like, are we going to do a snake? Am I going to see a dope snake? And I was like, oh, no. But it's like,
You kind of
oh,
saw a snake.
oh, yeah, in the little fountain
Yeah.
thing. But I was like, oh, giant Birdman.
Yeah.
Okay,
Yeah.
let's see where this goes.
Yeah, that was wild. I have a favorite, unless somebody else wants to go. I have a favorite like aspect, but it might open up a discussion.
Go for it. I mean, my only other part was Abu. I think. Did I have one
Real,
more
real
favorite
quick,
part?
favorite character.
I mean, he's my
Jasmine.
favorite character.
Jasmine.
Jasmine,
I like
100%.
Jasmine, and I liked her. Like, if we're gonna go a side character, I liked her handmaid.
Nassim.
Dahlia.
Nassim Pedrad.
Yeah.
No, it's the
she
actress.
killed it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
She killed it in this.
I enjoyed her.
I'm already
She's really
a fan
good
of
on New
hers.
Girl too.
Yeah, is
She's
she?
really
Ollie,
good.
your
Yeah.
favorite?
Is Genie,
Genie.
but with Jasmine as second.
Same. I'll mimic you.
I also do want to give a shout out to the person who played. What's his name? I keep forgetting.
Jafar
No,
or
Aladdin.
Mina
Mina?
Massoud?
I want to give him a shout out because I thought that I was gonna not like that version, not like him as Aladdin, but I was sold.
I think he's definitely got the look, and he has like a little bit.
He had the look.
He has the boyish
He had
charm.
the charm, which is important.
and
He
I
had
think-
that kind of street. Like I believed him as a street rat,
Yeah.
which
I'm-
was
I liked the actor. I didn't like how he was written.
really.
But
It
going
was-
with your aspect,
yeah,
and then we
go
can go
ahead.
to your.
Well, I was gonna go into it, and you know me, we talk about Beauty and the Beast. I'm apprehensive about changes
Yeah.
to the original when you're going into these like straight adaptations. And for me, as soon as we got Jasmine's first song,
Yeah.
was
Speechless?
it was just Speechless, right? It was the same song.
Same
just
song.
twice.
Yeah, she
Yeah.
just walks away.
So when Speechless kicked in, I was like, okay, we're getting into some terror, and we're getting into that. It's becoming
That-
2019.
Little gray area.
It's like, okay, 2019, women's rights, like that's totally fine. But I was worried that it was just gonna like be this weird detached thing that was just kind of shoehorned in.
Yeah.
A
like,
check mark feeling.
Yeah. But I was actually really, really happy.
Her
the way
arc
it
was
turned out.
great.
Well,
I was worried about it, but then like I was like, they've got to make this like really matter.
Blend it in.
They've
and
got to
weaving
blend it
into
in.
the world.
And I think they nailed it. I really
They
do.
did.
I think
Really well.
her becoming Sultan, I think, is the
I was actually more interested in her story than Aladdin's.
yeah, but not which could be a qualm towards Aladdin, but not only that, but the fact that it was okay for her to still fall in love with the guy.
Yeah.
Like she didn't have to like pick one or the other.
Yeah.
It wasn't like a cliche thing for her to fall in love with. Like you're a human. You're allowed to be attracted to another human, and also
Happens
be
all the
soulmate.
time.
You
Yeah. I'll tell you.
You can be those things
talk later.
are not.
You know, Bonnie, you'll figure
Those
it
things
out.
are mutually exclusive. You don't have to be
Oh,
a
okay.
strong female. If you're a strong female in a piece of fiction,
Yeah.
you don't have to not like men.
Yeah.
Yeah, they're not. Yeah, like
That's
you said,
what I'm getting at.
they're not mutually
Is that
exclusive.
it felt
You can still
real.
have a good romance story.
It felt real and not like a political statement.
Yeah.
Is what I mean.
Yeah, I
So
mean
that's what I loved about it. Is that and funny enough, sorry to interrupt you, Tom, but it's the first time in modern cinema from any movie that I've seen that has these kinds of themes in it, where I feel like it was finally nailed perfectly.
again, it goes beyond the narrative and talks a little bit about like the socio-political, but in a way where it's not like it's an add-on. It doesn't feel like it's this ancillary thing. It feels like it's part of the world that they're building, because the world that they're building is in the time that we're alive.
Right.
And so it feels like it's not just tacked on.
Yeah.
So it's very good.
I also, last favorite part, liked Raja being able to see, he could see straight through Genie's magic and knew it was still Aladdin. Dug that.
Yeah.
What I mean, are we kind of going into qualms or discussions? Because
Yes.
so I want to discuss a little bit, because Ali, you kind of fucked my brain a little bit, and you're like, "Did you read those reviews?" And I did a while ago, because I read one Rotten Tomato review of like how something was
stayed
negative
away.
and all that, and I read them now. I read them now when I do this. I read it. I do the show notes. I read it. So one thing I did not I totally disagree with. One of them that was like a 1 out of 5.
Yeah.
That's what I guess. That's why I do one. And they said the Sultan gets tortured. That shouldn't be in a children's movie. That was their main thesis. And all these reviews are like a paragraph long.
Except that Jasmine gets tortured
Jasmine
in the
almost
original.
gets her hand.
Don't ask me. Don't ask me. That
In the
No,
original-
that's
That's okay.
okay.
That's okay.
In the original
It's not in
cartoon,
this.
she almost drowns in sand.
Yeah.
And Aladdin drowns again in this movie. Anyways, second one that I saw was that all the set pieces were too small. I was like, that's not a reason to be negative, but okay.
That's interesting.
A third one was Will Smith is no Robin Williams. And I was like,
Oh,
but
that's
why are you asking for him to be?
Yeah.
Yeah.
The third one and fourth one, I want to end on this one, which I think is the one that we could all kind of agree on, was Jasmine's story is a lot more, I guess, more resonating.
Yeah.
And if the movie did maybe even 10 more minutes on Jasmine, the movie should have been called Jasmine, not Aladdin,
yeah.
because
that.
of that. And I was like, I agree with that, because, you know, with Aladdin, he is like this street rat who finds, rags to riches story. But Jasmine has this really like, oh, there's war happening.
My
Her
mom
dad's getting
died.
plotted at. And it's like, this sounds dope. This sounds like Game of Thrones spinoff that I didn't, I wasn't gonna get. And I was like, yeah, I'm totally down for it. And so when you're like, Return to Fire, I was like, maybe
I think she had the
not.
most character like moments in character development.
She had the most character development.
Yeah,
100%.
And maybe we didn't need. Maybe instead of the retort to that would be like, if we got 10 more minutes of Aladdin,
Yeah.
then it would have been fine.
Oh,
If we
yeah.
learned a bit more about Aladdin's backstory,
Yeah, I mean,
but I don't even know if I want
again,
that.
like, and I would say
Yeah.
like this:
I don't know if I'd want that.
The film plays very much the same plot of the original. Characterizations are different.
Yeah.
but plot is exactly the same. Find a lamp, get the lamp, become prince, falls in love with the girl, can't make the third wish, makes the third wish.
Yeah.
It's the exact same movie, except all the characters are just
Tweaked.
very much tweaked and written differently.
Yeah.
And so it's like
Yeah. Some for
it
better,
follows,
some for worse.
and it's like it's kind of, I guess,
Like
talking
half hour
about
longer,
talking
too,
a little bit
right?
about
Yeah.
Game of Thrones. Like it ends differently because the characters are different than the original movie.
Yeah.
yeah.
And so
which I
I'll
appreciated.
I'll just start out with a qualm. I tried really hard not to be like, I don't like that. When you were saying about the Prince thing, the gray area with the Prince, I was like, which reference are they making? Is it Prince or is it Fresh Prince, or how many princes are there?
Oh.
Yeah.
And so I was like, move on. I was like, I'm not getting it, and like I don't want to be on here anymore. That's where I
You
was
didn't
at.
get it?
Well, at first I was like, which prince are they making? I was like, okay,
That was
cool.
probably one of my favorite jokes that he made.
Well, because I saw in the trailer And then I think one trailer definitely was just Prince, like Purple Rain Prince, for like an international one. And so I was like, whoa,
I
what's
didn't see
going
that
on?
one.
I haven't seen
Yeah.
that.
Yeah, and it was like because he did like the high note, and I was
Yeah.
like, what is going on? And so when I watched this one, I was like, okay, I'm over it.
Yeah.
Oh. It's
Secondly,
called baggage, Tom. You watched the trailer too many times.
sorry that you sold me the wrong thing.
Unfortunately, this movie is going to be rampant with baggage.
Yeah.
I mean, because
No.
No,
I
you
was just
go
making a
on and
joke.
I'll-
I was
and
just
I'll-
making a joke.
Yeah.
Like, not actually.
yeah, I
serious.
mean, again, by the time like I realized I felt like excited more about Hitch and Disney. I dropped all the Robin Williams stuff because again, you can't really compare. You can't compare.
No.
if he had, he would have been just blasted too.
I'm not a fan of like really quick super speed up things and then slow down stuff. Like I'm
Which
cool
is
with-
Guy Ritchie's whole aesthetic.
which I'm cool with one thing, and so they call
Yeah.
it stop motion action. That's what the industry is called. It's his stop motion action style, which I'm like, cool. It works for Sherlock. It works for his other films.
Snatch worked really well, actually.
Which but here I just kind of felt a little like, what's going on at the beginning?
It felt a little like Guy Ritchie. Like that's what it
well,
felt
I
like.
liked it a lot
Yeah.
because it was like, cool, he can do it, but it's not like that's just I'll just have that as a Guy Ritchie.
There was
qualm.
one I liked it most of the time in this film, and I am a Guy Ritchie fan. The one time it bothered me the most was during One Jump when he's singing real time
and in
but
slow
moving slow
Oh,
motion.
yeah.
I noticed that.
And I was like, this doesn't feel good.
No, yeah, it feels weird. It feels like you didn't put a sock all the way up.
Yeah.
And you're like, what's going on? Secondly, if you can parkour, you are a diamond in the rough.
Yeah.
There was very little kind of showing that he was a diamond in the rough, and like they almost didn't sell it until the point where the one guard almost stomped on the child, and I
Yeah.
was like, "There's nothing special about him other than he could jump," and
Yeah.
I was getting a little miffed
Was
by
there
that.
much in the cartoon though?
In the beginning, it shows him being a little bit more.
There was
and
a little
is
bit
it-
more to helping Jasmine, giving the kids the bread in the beginning, just kind of like literally just sticking up
Gives
for
them
people.
dates.
Yeah.
The moment with the prince in the cartoon is a bigger moment too. They have the whole back and forth, right?
Yeah.
They have the whole like, it's not every day you see a horse with two rear ends kind of thing, and they have their whole argument, and he gets thrown in the mud and kind of laughed at and heads home. And
He's not in a prison where he meets Jafar, so you don't really get that like personality from him.
Yeah.
You get
Yeah.
more of like a Jafar's just like, yo, Iago said there's a thief and he's the guy.
Yeah.
And I was like, okay.
yeah, because Jafar's watching him and he's
yeah.
like crystal hourglass or whatever.
I think those are kind of mainly the most qualms I think I have. I'll probably think a little bit more along the way, but those were the ones that stuck. Oh no, the first 20 minutes like screamed at Disney TV movie. And I like,
It was way too quick.
it was just like, hey, let's go on an adventure. It's like, all right, let's do this thing. And I got this bracelet and we're going to go to my place. And somehow I was like, whoa. I don't
Next
know.
time on
Like,
Aladdin.
I know these
Actually,
characters.
can I jump on that?
Go ahead.
With you, because that was one of the things Dana was like. My wife was asking me. She's like, "What about
Trust
it?
your wife.
Didn't about that first moment? Do you like?" And I was like, "You know what I missed was like in the original film. I'm gonna compare it here because I think the narrative worked better, or the storytelling in this moment worked better. Where you see Aladdin and Abu are sitting on top of that like urchin's tent, right? And they're eating whatever apple. And Aladdin sees Jasmine for the first time, and he's kind of like, "Whoa!"
It has that little-
and Abu's like that whole thing, and then they have their moment. So it gives you a little bit of his side of the story and her side of the story at the same time. And I just missed. It's literally like 45 seconds.
Well,
But I missed that because all of a sudden it was just like, "Hey, I'm here to help you," and you're
Yeah.
like, "Whoa, who the
Came out of
fuck?
nowhere.
Where'd you come from?"
well, the first one, the original, the way that it works, it's a very male story. Jasmine barely has a fucking part in it.
Yeah.
Yeah, 100%.
Right. And so this one, in order to make it, I think, more relevant, more digestible, they have to split the coin.
But I don't think I spent enough time with either of the characters yet at that point, because even at that point, you already have the Jasmine freeing the doves and talking to her dad, so you know what she's about. You have Aladdin with his One Jump song, so you know what he's about, and then they come together. In this, it was just like they come together, and then you're going to learn about him. And I was like, but I don't know.
Well, and the
yet.
main thing is like with the One Jump sequence in the animated, you stay on Aladdin the entire time. In this one, it's very easy to lose Aladdin, and because
Yeah.
he's trying to protect her, so he pushes Jasmine away. So we get cuts to Jasmine.
Yeah.
It's just film language where like you don't stick with your main character often enough to empathize with him until later on.
Yeah.
And that's when we probably get like Street Rat.
Well, it's because of I think
song.
mostly it's because of what they added for Jasmine is that they realized that what they wrote for her is so big that they really need to like sell you on that character.
yeah,
and, like,
which
spend
is
more-
fine. I
which is
think I
fine.
needed separate
But
time
that's
first.
that's the side
Again,
effect,
let's
unfortunately.
let's look at the original where it's like Jasmine's just this girl who's stuck at home that her dad wants her to get married.
Yeah.
Like this one, like her mom dies, so there's a reason why no one's seen her. There's a reason why her dad wants her to get married. There's a reason. There's so many more reasons for what they've done in the cartoon.
Yeah.
But in the cartoon one, we just accept it because we're kids. And like we just accept that Aladdin's a street rat. Like, why was he poor? Where's his parents? Yeah. And then he says, they died when I was young. And it's like, cool. It's that thing that you actually like that I always give you shit about.
It's one line.
It's one line that explains it. And like he has that like, it's really tough when my only parental person is a monkey. And it's like, okay, there's that humor. But I'll say that's my part until everyone else can go.
Do you want to go? I can go.
I mean, I'll get mine out of the way.
Yeah.
I feel, I'll be perfectly honest with everybody in the audience. I feel a little uncomfortable because I don't have very many qualms.
Which is fine.
And well, the thing is, I don't even
either.
get your guys' qualms. Like it didn't even cross my brain, like the things that are coming up that I'm like, didn't think about that. Didn't think about that.
Which is fine.
Didn't think
Which
about
means
that.
it didn't matter.
It didn't matter to me, all these things. The only qualm that I had was probably from a musical standpoint where I felt some of the transitions into the songs were clunky. Where they felt like they weren't smooth. Like one specific one was One Jump. It didn't feel smooth to me. Like it's hard for me to explain. I feel like I'd have to watch it many more times.
I agree with you. But mine goes a little further than that. But I agree that some of the songs were either like, it was just like, here's the song. And you're like, whoa, shit. Okay. We're in the song now. We're like,
in that same breath, it's like, here's the song. The song's gone.
yeah, it was very
It
quick.
would happen
but
very
it's
quick.
also
Very
like there were
vignetted
some of
almost.
the, I really hate long introductions of songs.
There was a few of those.
There was a few introductions where they're like fucking establishing things, and I'm like, the intro doesn't need to be like the musical intro to this song does not need to be this long. Like, skip to the end.
Like a lot
Let's
of people
get to the
forget
song.
that like the One Jump in the animated series, it has a big intro.
Yeah,
But there's stuff happening. There's
Yeah.
like dialogue and stuff.
That's the thing is that
happening
you
over
kind of slowly it
Faded
would
in
have been
and-
cool to see him starting
Yeah.
to do some more dancey kind of things, and then like him saying some of the lyrics, and then like jumping
Yeah.
like go
Yeah.
into it.
so I mean,
So I get
the other
that.
thing too, like with this movie is like, I guess going into it, like once the credits or whatever, once it started rolling, I was like, this is not the animated show.
Right.
And my point of that is that was the displacement in my brain of going like, my qualm is putting, and I apologize, and I feel like I'm gonna be a dick in this,
Do it.
is that
It'll be
my
the
qualm,
first time.
my qualm is putting so much baggage on it and not letting it have its own life.
You mean like us putting baggage on?
no, it's the whole world.
Well,
Oh.
I would
Well, how
say-
much of an opportunity is Disney giving you by giving you the exact same thing?
No, and that's the thing is it's like
It's a catch-22.
It is a catch-22. My qualm about it is the whole fucking situation.
Yeah, oh yeah.
Is that you're using your stuff and
Same song, same characters, same setting, same everything.
same everything, and you're changing some things, and it's like that's okay. I love change.
Yeah.
When
it makes sense.
I mean, like one thing that like it didn't happen in Aladdin, but when I went and saw Beauty and the Beast, the live action, they added a song that was from another version of the movie, and
That got cut or something?
That got cut,
Yeah.
and somebody behind me was like, "What? That's new." I'm like, "Actually,
Actually,
it's not." But the thing about these live action things is it's really unfortunate. They have brought baggage with them and
Yeah.
said, "Here, can you hold this?"
Yeah.
I was gonna say,
And it's really unfortunate.
that's actually
Like
a great
these,
song too.
You have
That's a great song.
you
The one
have
that
to
you're talking
find that, like Tom was saying, you have to find that, because to not compare it at all, you're also losing.
about. Right.
You
Well,
have to at a point compare
but I
the
don't.
two.
The unfortunate thing is they're just
didn't have the
they're two
magic.
different movies.
well,
Yeah.
it's so
They are,
so-
and but like you said, it's the same characterizations.
What made me enjoy this movie so much was knowing the source material and seeing the adaptation. It's the same thing I get with like a good comic book adaptation.
Yeah.
When they go completely off the book, I'm like, that's really cool. When they go really close, I'm like, that's really cool.
Yeah.
It's
Yeah.
like how you do it, and if it's carbon copy, it's carbon copy.
It's
Yeah.
tough because I agree and disagree at the same time. It's stuff like with Harry Potter for me. Like I'm someone who read all the books like you, and I thought Richard Harris was perfect. And while Michael Gambon is technically a different thing, and it's a movie version, not the book version, I still have Dumbledore as my favorite Harry Potter character. So of course I'm going to compare it a little bit, because to not hold that standard up is to forgive everything. And I don't think we can, because then they could just do whatever they want with things.
Yeah, I guess
And they'd be
so.
like, oh, and also Genie murdered 10 people, but it's our own run, so forget about it.
so
You'd be like, no.
I would say like this: a lot of the reviews, or the fifth one, the main one that kind of like I think riddled the internet, was like why is Will Smith's genie so similar to Robin Williams? I'm using air quotes, everyone at home, when they could have just done something completely different. Then I was like, then they don't do Aladdin.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And
It's
that's
that gray area.
Well, that's the tough thing where it's like, this is
To
their
steal from them.
property,
Yeah.
but it's like, how do they improve it? And I think that's what they try to do with this film was like, they try to improve a lot of things because the first one, mind you, it's marred in a lot of criticism
Yeah.
because of a lot of whitewashing and
Yeah.
a lot of like, like short and small character narratives. And this film tried to like
Expand.
update those
Yeah.
for better or for worse, and they're
Yeah.
neither here nor there. But
Yeah.
like, I think the tough thing as well is finding a place to see where the source material is. How does it comment on it, and then how does it update it, but also how does it
Yeah.
honor it at the same time?
Yeah.
And that's where the thing. It's like you have to be this good in order to impress me,
Yeah.
versus
No.
you have to honor the source material. You don't have to do the source material, but
Yeah.
just find a way to. You're not saying
Keep the
F you to the
spirit.
source
But you
material.
can also disagree with the choices they've made and still appreciate the first
I mean,
one.
of course.
Yeah.
I guess the thing is too is that, like we have discussed as a group off mic and on mic, where it's like me, I really do have that kind of upbringing of just entertain me.
Yeah.
And this entertained
Take me on a ride. It's very
take
Kevin
me on a
Smith.
ride. Like this, take me on a magic carpet ride, and this was that, and
Yeah.
it was fun. And I don't have. I love. I mean, refer back to our Aladdin episode. I love the
Yeah.
original Aladdin, but
100%.
I guess it's just the way that I treat movies, all movies,
But it's
whatever
also
they are.
we all have
that's
different
everybody.
tastes.
Yeah,
as
no,
well.
that's yeah.
I mean, I would kind of say it like this, but I don't agree with this analogy. It's kind of like getting a sandwich and you wanting to cut the crust off. Depends on certain people.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's whether it's like, oh, that didn't affect me. It's like, well, I don't like the crust.
Yeah.
But
Yeah.
you're not
It's like those-
enjoying the finer flavor.
Or you
But
can
this-
have a PB
and
and
the toasted
PB and
crust.
jelly sandwich, but
Do you
what kind
have
of
ja-
jam do you like?
Well, it's also
or
do you,
jelly
do you put
like?
jelly on both sides?
Yeah.
But I would
Yeah.
also say, since you said magic carpet, I didn't like how the magic carpet looked like.
Oh.
I thought it was actually too not saturated enough.
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
I thought it was
agree.
so dusty. And it was so, I mean, like it's in a cave. Let's give it a break, right?
But once it gets
okay,
out,
but
once it
once
gets
it
out,
Right,
But no,
you dust it off.
and then
Shake it off?
Well,
Yeah.
when it died and came back to life, I was like, okay, now it's gonna be fully. It's the same carpet.
Yeah.
It's the same.
I
like,
did want a little
just
more color.
not saturated carpet. I was like, you
Well,
look.
like the tassels. Were,
you
I
look-
wanted those to be like gold.
I was like, you look like a Marvel.
I guess for me, I was like, my house is just I have carpets everywhere, and so over
it's like
time
that
they
Buzz
just dull.
fucking carpets everywhere.
Moroccan
everywhere.
locations and films.
Anyway, you started introing. All right.
Well, no, I was gonna say I was gonna jump on my qualms here.
Yeah.
My biggest qualm was actually the mixing of the songs. I did not like the modern updates. I'm like Josh. I'm a musical theater guy,
Yeah.
and I'm not someone who needs that. I guess I don't need the house beat underneath "Friend Like Me."
Yeah.
For me, that took away from it. For me, that didn't serve the story because it was like it's a fine line to walk, right? Like there's times where modernizing music in a classical setting can work. So like Knight's Tale does it because they fully commit to like singing We Will Rock You in the sense of this is how they would feel in that time. They wouldn't sing the song, but this song evokes the same emotion.
Right.
But in this case, it felt weird to me, and it happened in one jump and it happened in one other song, to be in this setting of Agrabah where everyone
Prince
has
Ali.
swords and then you hear like boom, 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 boom. And I'm just like, for me, it rips me out of the story. Then I'm suddenly listening to the radio.
Yeah.
And it took away from the stories for me, or from the songs.
To me, I feel like that just felt like it was them, you know,
And, like,
adapting
you
it
have
to
to do
Will Smith,
something a
but
little bit.
also
Well, not just Friend Like Me. It happened in one jump. It happened in
Oh, really?
the Princess song had not a house beat, but it had a big bass beat underneath it that was very clearly like digital beats.
interesting.
And for me, that hurt the production. It's the same reason I didn't like Greatest Showman. The thing is, I love the Greatest Showman songs. I've seen the rehearsal videos. I cry when I watch. What's their main song? This Is Me.
This is.
I like tear up and cry. But then I hear the overproduced, like auto-tuned shit, and for me, it's like it hurts. It hurts
Yeah.
me.
It
And
hurts me to hear this.
I know it does, because I like those songs and I love the performances so much. But to hear it, you're taking like I would rather them not auto-tune Will Smith or auto-tune Naomi Scott and just let them sing like passionately and hit notes here and there.
In a tangent.
Yeah.
Did you hear him sing A Friend Like Me on Fallon?
No, was it great?
So it's really cool because Friend Like Me, the original one's like very swing, right? swing
Yeah.
jazzy.
Yeah.
And then he turned it to like R&B.
Yeah.
And so he's like,
He sings it on
I was like,
Fallon?
okay.
Don't pound on the table.
Yeah, you're right. I'm sorry, everyone at home listening.
That was Josh's number one rule.
Well, sorry. It's a little gray area.
No gray on here on that one.
But yeah, so I was like, oh, okay, I saw that before I watched the movie. And I was like, I could be into it. If he's going to just do his
sing
thing.
it on Fallon?
He did. He
I'm going
started
to watch
singing
that
with
when I
it.
get
Yeah,
home.
same.
It's really, really cool.
Well, I mean, on
Or
that,
Fallon or
it's-
Kimmel, one of those Jimmys.
That's a great, like, I mean, that's kind of an overall, that's like what your preference is. Because we're in 2019.
Yeah.
And the big preference of music right now is kind of a hip hop
Yeah.
dance.
And I don't agree
feel.
with it.
No, and
I
that's
think it takes heart
me
out
as-
of it.
You and I probably almost pretty much like the same kind of music. If you listen to old music, if you listen to
Maybe I'm just
Um,
getting old.
it-
But I feel like I just feel like you lose a humanity of it.
and then some
get it.
people will argue the reverse. Like what I learned in audio school in terms of like hip hop versus like folk music is it's like they're both trying to capture some people it spoke to them. And so it's like
Oh yeah, 100%.
it's so interesting to hear something that we knew and love and then put a house beat under it and you're
Yeah.
like
Yeah. It's not even, and it's the setting too. Like I'm just a musical theater guy. Like give me a big
Yeah.
orchestra. That's all I need. I don't
Yeah.
need anything fancy.
Yeah.
Give me an
it's a
orchestra
musical.
and someone singing on top and I'm fucking a happy camper.
Yeah.
But I can't stand the digital beats in Agrabah. That was just for me
Yeah.
a bit too far.
I didn't even pick up on that.
Next quote.
Iago. That was a big qualm of mine. How he was treated in the film.
I got tired of him always just happening to be like listening in. Like,
Yeah,
like it
he
was,
wasn't
that was their like
he wasn't
exit shot
treated
from
like a
everything.
character. He's a plot
yeah.
device.
Yeah.
Well, so
And he's probably one of my favorite characters in the original.
I wanted, was it Gilbert? I wanted Gilbert
Yeah,
Godfrey to
Gilbert
reprise the
Godfrey.
Well,
role.
like, here's the thing: you hire someone as talented as Alan Tudyk, and you let him say 2 words at a time, and you let him say like 6 words in the whole film.
Yeah.
And to me, it felt weird to like have them market that like we hired Alan Tudyk. We're gonna put his name on all the posters. Can you find him?
He was a vehicle to have cool
I didn't know it
shots.
until after
Cool
when I was looking at the
establishment
cast
shots.
that he was in the cast.
I would
What a
say,
waste.
like this, the way that Iago was written, though, I just going back again to our Carolyn Rivas episode. Fuck Iago.
Yeah.
I was so like, oh, like, yes, kill this giant bird.
But
Kill
it was
this giant
it was
bird.
way too plot devicey for me, and I wanted more. Like I 100%. So Jafar kicks that guy in the well, and then it's just him and Iago. 100% wanted him to just start speaking.
Yeah.
Didn't have to be like crazy smart or anything.
Like it'd be cool
Yeah.
if he only like
Yeah.
the movie he only spoke around Jafar,
Right.
or not around anyone
I
else.
thought he'd never leave.
Yeah, I don't even
Yeah.
need that. It's Alan Tudyk. He would have come up with something beautiful.
Yeah.
He's probably one of the most versatile actors of our generation.
That is a huge missed opportunity in my
Yeah.
opinion.
Yeah.
Shout out to you.
The
can see
other
that.
thing, my
I'll
last
second
qualm,
that qualm.
My last qualm was
Yours.
I like the actor who played Aladdin, and I think he captured that look and that what's the word I'm looking for? Kind of like childlike wonder,
Boyish
almost.
charm.
Yeah. boys.
Yeah, but I don't. There came a partway through the film how he was written, how he was talking to Genie, and I just stopped caring about him.
Mhm.
And when he kicked him into the ocean, I was kind of like, okay,
I
let's go back to Jasmine.
I wanna draw
I
upon
hope Jasmine gets the lamp and we have a whole new ending.
I want to draw
yeah.
on this factor because it kind of reminds me a little bit of, it's not the same thing, but like with Shazam.
Yeah.
Billy Bats into Shazam.
Yeah.
There's a
Yeah.
character difference after a change.
Yeah.
And so once Aladdin gets the genie, he's kind of stops being, and to your point we were talking about, he kind of stops being, oh yeah, I've seen Agrabah. It's like, oh yeah, like that's like that silk is from blah blah from far away. So you must be like the handmaiden.
Yeah,
thing.
he's-
he's still smart. He's not, and I'll say this, in the entire movie, he is not the animated movies Aladdin where he's
No, which
slick
is
and
fine.
sly.
Yeah. Well, but he is. He's fast
little.
talking. He's smart. He's got fast hands. He can think on his feet. Like the way he talks to the merchant when Jasmine steals from him is super fucking quick. The way he dodges all the guards throughout all of one jump and how confident and cool and collected he is through the whole thing makes sense. So to me, the change when he's in the palace and like he can't think on his feet all of a sudden, and like I get it's a different situation, but even in the animated version they play with that a little bit where he's like they ask him questions and he goes, it's very far from here, you've never heard of it, kind of thing. I guess I wanted more of stick to the character in the beginning of the film, not so
Have
much
him
as-
it
it felt like too
you
much of
want
a
him
change.
to compound his lies more.
Yeah.
I didn't feel. You definitely feel it a lot, but it was mostly on the lie of him.
It was
being
that
Aladdin. Not
it was
having him be his whole character, showing that he has this massive character flaw.
Yeah.
As opposed to him having to like be a victim of the circumstance
Yes,
where he has
right.
to lie in this one situation.
Right,
You
exactly.
don't get that full.
That's
like, his
exactly what I
character.
felt. And it's to Tom's one of Tom's favorite points. That whole jam scene felt like a lot of just bathos for the sake
So
of
apparently
it.
that's their improv.
Yeah.
Huh?
They improv that.
Felt like
Will Smith and
Felt like bad
and whatever.
Yeah.
Which
Well,
is
It felt like improv.
but I would say this.
But bad
So
improv.
Leave that to Paul
your
Rudd.
rewrite I like, but my rewrite I would have done is the moment where Jafar pulls the thing out of the pocket.
Yeah, which I love.
That's when Aladdin's like, "That's the princess." Oh shoot! And
Yeah.
then drive that a little bit more when they're on the beach with Genie. He's like, "Well, just be yourself." He's like, "I can't. She's a princess." Like, you didn't have any problem talking to her before. But
Yeah.
then you show that, so it has a little bit more of like the making the jump of like you were able to talk to her just fine, and you knew she was a prince. But they didn't drive that like now that she's a princess, now he has a problem talking to her. Now
Yeah.
he has a confidence problem.
I think maybe
Because
they
didn't
drove
do
that point home.
They didn't
a
do that
little
at
more.
all.
To
They
me,
just
it was just suddenly he lost his ability to think on his feet.
They just
And
did
I
like,
was just
"Oh, she's a princess. She lied to me." That was it.
yeah.
And then
And he tricks the genie. Like he's a smart dude. He
Yeah.
can think in the moment and come up with shit. And so
like.
But jam
his-
is hard.
jam is hard,
He
man.
could have had some really fun interactions with that other prince.
Yeah.
Like he could have like really because that
just
character
showed him up.
And
I would have loved to see him run circles around.
I
him.
guess that was one of my qualms. Was that character? Was that other prince?
Yeah.
Was I felt like he was a little over the top without having anything like to do with it. Like,
He's
you built up this really over the top character, but didn't really
Yeah.
do much with him.
He didn't even
Yeah.
show up in the third act where he could have been like some bystander. or
Yeah,
something.
I also
Yeah.
like. Yeah,
I was just gonna
Just
say,
felt
I
like
also
out
felt
of
that he
place.
was okay. I know that we're dealing with a movie called Aladdin
Yes.
that's based on animated, but all of the other characters, though they might be big for the world,
Mhm.
he was over the top in a sense that he didn't fit.
yeah,
Like
Yeah.
the jokiness and his
He's a
the
pussy
character, like it was like.
Like a chameleon.
Unfortunately, it's not selling
So-
to me.
Right.
Like,
Yeah, for me, the biggest issue came with his characterization, and I lost the ability to empathize with him at some part through the movie.
Yeah.
And it came in the sense of like his own arrogance, I guess. And he's talking to Genie and like telling him like, yeah, I'm not gonna set you free, kind of thing. And I was like, here's the thing, I wanted to see him struggle with that ultimatum a little more.
yeah.
And that's the thing I liked about him in the animated film was that he's making these tough choices and it's hurting him, but he's gonna do it. He's like, I can't. You're the reason I'm a prince. Like I can't do this without. I'm sorry. And I didn't get the I'm sorry. It was more of like, well, you work for me, and I know I said
Yeah.
it, but like I'm not gonna do
he was
it.
kind of a dick in that
'cause
moment.
Right.
Yeah.
And to me, that hurt the character. And I from then on out was like iffy about it until he picked up Abu in the snow and put him in his
Yeah.
vest.
I don't
was
know
like,
exactly
all
what
right,
happened
man.
after that, but I bet Iago flew away. With
Yeah, he did.
knowledge. Did he?
100%.
And
yeah.
cut to Jasmine probably.
Because he goes back in the lamp and he shoves the lamp in his bag and Iago flies away. It was like right
Well, he
before
takes
he
the
gets
bag.
stolen. Yeah.
And then Jafar
Pickpockets him.
in that fucking Guy Ritchie ass way.
Yeah.
Here's a curtain in your face.
Which was also a weird
That was
moment
cool. I like
because
that.
they foreshadowed him being able to tell people were picking his pocket before, and then he wasn't.
Mhm.
So it just, I don't know. There was a little too much inconsistency with the writing of his character.
Logic gaps.
Well, okay. Well,
Logic gap.
So
Inconsistency,
So
I'd
my
call
big
it.
thing, and so this
Rough second
happened.
act.
This happens in the cartoon, and they did it in the movie, and it's the flying of the magic carpet.
Yeah.
And you fly through all these countries. You're melting your skin off your face because you're flying so fast.
yeah.
But secondly, the main glaring thing was like, he's in the Arctic, and then next shot he's in Agrabah, and I was just like, oh
How
man.
long did it take you to get back?
Well, and so like it's the magic,
Like in
right?
Batman
It's the
Rises?
magic
It's
world.
magic,
and- yeah,
Tom.
it's magic world and all that stuff. But like, we didn't even see him jump on the magic carpet. We just saw poof, magic carpet. I'm like, okay, he's on it.
Oh, because like in the original, he actually gets on.
He's
it
like
and-
carpet because no carpet gets
Carpet
transported
goes
with
with
him.
him.
Yeah.
and gets underneath the little tower thing, and he
Yeah,
pulls
frozen.
the thing, and then he's like, we gotta go.
Oh, yeah, I loved that.
And then he's like,
I'm sorry.
He's like, why
Yeah.
didn't I just wish him out of the thing? This is all my fault. He has that self-reflection. This one's like, poof, here's the carpet. Poof,
We
here
learned
are,
nothing
we're back.
from that.
And so like I like the fact that instead of like slutty looking Jasmine, they made her like, you have to get married. But then it was like they could have done like, do you accept? And then dun 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 like flying in between with the carpet.
Was
So
that an Avengers swell up?
I don't know. Well,
Dun-dun-dun,
that's
dun-dun-dun.
no, Ollie. You're just putting that on there. It's every single swell of like
kidding.
of any type of because you have to have like the cut reverse shot of like all of Aladdin trying to get back and Jasmine like
You've
trying to
got
wait time.
a friend like me.
Oh, there's like I was like, what? That
Hey,
almost
Avengers
was
did well, right?
that almost
they did
was
right.
Randy Newman.
Yeah.
But, and like just that tension, that cut reverse shot of like Aladdin trying to race back to Agrabah. She's trying to like delay time, but instead it's like he's back.
Yeah.
It's like, all right, they did the exact same thing in the cartoon, and we all said okay because it's a cartoon. But then I was like, oh, it's a live action. I don't know if you could really
But it's
get away with
magic.
that.
Yeah, my last little. This is not actually a qualm. It's just a nitpicky thing. The only nod that I needed to the original film.
Can I call you Laddie?
No, you know what it is. Jafar.
Oh, with his
Prince
Abu.
Abu.
Oh yeah,
Oh yeah.
I wanted
It's
Prince
the
Abu.
only callback I needed.
I actually, the one that I needed was between Jasmine and he was like, "Go with me," and she's like, "Oh," like when he was saying that she's not all there, she's kind of
yeah,
kind of
Oh, yeah.
stupid.
I like
Oh, yeah.
Sultan, not that
He,
Sultan.
she thinks the monkey's the salt like
Yeah.
that. I was
Yeah.
like, I was waiting for it, and it didn't happen. I was like, dang it.
I don't think they could. They would quote unquote be making
Yeah.
her dumber than she actually is, or
Yeah.
whatever.
But like, yeah, I just needed that Abu Boo.
One last thing that I was like, this is I expected to be a qualm,
Yeah,
but it wasn't a qualm.
Yeah.
Was Jafar.
Yeah.
Going into it, I was like, but it's not because one of the things about Jafar, the
He's too
original
sexy
Jafar,
right now.
was that
Shout out to
he was this old, gross, weird-looking dude.
plotting,
Like
creepy.
like the fucking
So-
twirling
goatee.
beard.
So that's actually a lot of the.
Also, can I just say, probably one of my favorite voice actors of all time.
so
I think
that
his
guy?
performance in that is
so there's a lot of criticism around that character design of Jafar
Why?
because it's showing the
Too hot?
Arabic people like in a bad way.
Oh.
Where their noses are hooked. They're malnourished.
The original
they have
Jafar?
big lip. They have low brows, like the original Jafar.
I didn't know
Yeah.
that.
There's and so that was the thing where it's like I'm trying to read the good and the bad about all
Right?
this.
No, of course.
And like a lot of people got really pissed off that Aladdin looks like a white dude just with brown skin, and Jafar is like the stereotype looking of an Arab dude.
Mm-hmm.
And so with this, I'm like, Jafar is also too good looking. I'm
Yeah.
just gonna
Just can't
say it
win
out
with
there.
that.
I will.
don't get
I liked this Jafar a lot. I liked the street rat kind of thing.
I like the old Jafar. and
I
I
this
didn't
Jafar.
expect to like this Jafar
My-
and his evilness.
My
Played
last
into it.
qualm.
You
and
said
this
that
is-
two qualms.
I
last
know.
time,
I forgot about this one. I said last qualm, but this is actually the last one. Is I am going to be the unpopular opinion here. Will Smith was just Will Smith, and
Yep.
it was too Will Smith for me to Will Smith this movie.
It was too
Especially-
legit to quit.
It was just too like that's Will Smith, and I didn't forget it was Will Smith the whole time like I wanted to, and I just I'm actually not a big fan of his singing in this. Maybe it's the overproduction of it, but it felt thin, and I wanted it bigger because he's supposed to be such like Genie is such an all powerful character.
Yeah.
Not I don't want Robin Williams. Like I don't want that. Like I'm one of the people who's like don't even try because it's not make it your own thing. But to me, the it just wasn't. I love Will Smith and I think he was hilarious and he was probably one of the better parts of this movie. But it was just Will Smith, and I was really thinking about like, okay, well then if you feel that way, who do you want instead? And I honestly thought about it overnight, and I had a few different ones, but I came up with James Monroe Iglehart, who's the guy who does it on Broadway, but he's also a famous voice actor and screen actor. And his performance is so different and so his own, but he's got the acting and the vocal chops to do kind of whatever he wants with it. And I think this could have been a cool opportunity to cast someone a little more unknown like the rest of the cast
They could have,
in that role and have it make it a little less like less weight on it.
I think they needed their Hollywood celeb.
I get it. Studio-wise, I get it. It just
from a business standpoint.
it didn't work for me.
Yeah.
Well, I mean, the funny thing is kind of like with that ideology, it's like Disney has to try to make money, right? They sold $70 billion to get fucking Fox and all this bullshit. But it's like, that's the one thing that it's part of I detest about Disney is like all their films just always feel the same. And they always have this weird Tim Burton look to them now. And I just don't like that.
Yeah.
But because like it doesn't fit for everything. It just doesn't, that aesthetic doesn't fit. But this aesthetic, neither here nor there. But it's like Guy Ritchie doing this. And I was kind of like, this is, to me, it's felt like the most risky film they've done with one of their adaptations.
I will say this is probably my favorite live action adaptation that they've made.
I'll second that.
Yeah.
So,
Thought so.
and so for me, I would say it. So when I talked about it earlier, it's like if there was some people's like one review I read, it's like Guy Ritchie has nothing, it has no business doing music numbers and stuff. And I was like, shut the fuck up, go make your own music number.
Yeah.
But I was thinking, I was like, who else could have done it? And I was thinking, I was like, what if Danny Boyle did it?
Yeah.
He did Slumdog Millionaire.
Yeah.
And I was like,
Actually, I
could have been cool.
this had
I don't-
some
Train
Slumdog.
spot?
It had that feel, right?
It had some.
I don't know if
it
I
had
want
some
that
definitely
feel in Aladdin.
Some boils.
some. It had some Slumdog Millionaire
I mean,
Vibes.
vibes.
I
think
like
I
I liked
wanna-
how the dance numbers changed to the
dancing was one of my favorite
orientalness
parts.
of
Yeah,
it.
yeah,
Yeah.
But I would want like smoother camera moves. And
Oh,
stuff.
yeah.
Like that's my perfect version of Aladdin.
Well, Dave was some smooth
But-
camera moves. He
Oh,
just
yeah.
doesn't like people in the center of the
Well,
frame.
what it comes down to is that you would not want Danny Royal or
No,
Danny Boyle or
no,
Guy
not-
Ritchie.
not- I wouldn't.
Their
want that.
aesthetics that
Yeah.
you're like. It's like you either like their aesthetic or you don't.
I like their aesthetic. It's just I don't think it would have fit
for this
Aladdin.
kind of thing. Yeah.
Because at the end of the day,
Just get Tim Burton.
this isn't. Well, this isn't like the Nolan version of Aladdin.
Johnny
You know
Depp
what I
would have
mean?
been
Like,
Jafar.
Yeah.
Yeah. Helena
Um,
Bonham Carter would have been the Sultan.
Genie.
Interesting thing about what you said about Will Smith. I really had the opposite reaction. Like
Yeah.
I grew up with Will Smith. Fresh
Same.
Prince was
Yeah.
like a big deal for me. Independence Day, all that good stuff. To me, it worked, and I was a fan of. And I thought I was going to get pulled out and have too
Yeah.
much Will Smith going on. And to me, it didn't feel.
I like
like
how that
that.
has become an
Or-
adjective
or-
or adverb. Like,
Well, no,
Sorry.
To
It
me,
just-
well, I should say this actually. It's to me, it added value to it. in a weird
everyone
way.
can be
Yeah.
their own verb.
Because
And mine was the
I
opposite. It took it away from
Yeah.
me.
So for people out there who
Yeah.
should we
With
rate
that-
it?
it was one of the most divisive.
Yeah. I agree.
He was the
thing.
first cast.
There you go.
Rating.
Yeah.
Gotta get to some
Should do
ratings
it.
So I'm
sometime.
last.
So I'm
With
first.
Tom.
This is a solid 4. Solid 4. My
Good.
favorite of the live action Disney, whatever you want to call them. Column A's, column B's. Have a little bit of column A and all of column B. I really liked it because there's some films that were like, we're going to do this point of view, or we're going to do this, or Kristen Stewart's Snow White. Why? But Chris Hemsworth is the main character. Why?
The Huntsman.
Like these things are
Because
it's like,
handsome.
I don't get it, but it's kind of like, hey, look,
Yeah.
they're going to take their own liberties with it. Hey, we're going back into the Looking Glass, and
That's the same thing as making Maleficent a main character. You're just seeing a different side of the story.
Their releases. We wanted to make a point of view character.
Yeah.
Anyways,
So solid 4.
solid 4 because
So it's a masterpiece.
It took a lot of the.
Is the 4 a masterpiece?
That's what I usually say. It's like I will buy it. I'm gonna like, yo, this is the best. To me, this is the best live action Disney movie they've done. Like, I don't look at Jungle Book because it's CGI, and it's like, I feel bad. 'cause
There's the
it's like,
boy.
So what do you say about Lion King?
It's
okay,
CGI.
I'm gonna say this, and I feel really bad because I love
It's
John.
animated,
I love
yeah.
John Favreau. I can't tell you a difference between Iron Man, Chef, and Jungle Book
An elf.
and Elf. Like, I don't know what's the difference between it, or like, what's the John Favreau thing.
One of them has a man made of iron.
Okay, thank you. But it's like there's no through line. There's no like.
It's actually a gold titanium alloy, but I'll let it slide.
Okay,
Yeah.
okay, Mister.
Moving on.
Mister, I'm wearing the shirt that
That
I
was
got
good.
you.
That was a good reference.
But it's like those kind of things where it's like Guy Ritchie. It's a Guy Ritchie film, and I'm glad that Disney was able to like get some.
Let him have his own
courage
thing
and
in there.
confidence
Let
to
him
do
just like say, like, I'm not wearing hockey pads.
Yeah.
Like, I don't know, like if.
Love you.
And that's one of my things. If I could feel that a director is being an artist and doing their own film, like I'm going to like give it a lot more credence than maybe I would give normal films.
So you're giving it a pass.
I'm giving it a 4.
No, you give it a pass though. Maybe.
What's the order?
It's you and Josh.
and then
next.
Corey has to
So I'll go next.
because Josh is going to make you.
So I don't latch. I was really stoked that it was Guy Ritchie, but I don't latch onto it as much. And to me, if like all said and done, how I feel coming out of the theater plays a big part. And to me, I was pleasantly surprised. I loved most of what I was watching, and to me, that makes it a 4.6.
Wow.
Solid.
Damn.
I really enjoyed my
We'll
time.
for sure not be the Grumps this episode. Isn't that
Yeah,
crazy?
it's
Oh no,
crazy,
I
yeah.
will. I know it. I know it.
Yeah.
Because before I was
Josh and I know.
like if it was purely objective, it might be a little bit lower. Still probably within 4, but
Yeah.
lower. But it's my emotions, man.
My
Aladdin's, like,
emotional.
it's one of my favorite Disney
I know.
movies
Like
ever.
if it didn't
And
feel like such like
and
a
I felt it for most of the time I was watching. I felt
Nice.
the nostalgia. Like the songs worked. It impacted me.
honestly, if
and-
it didn't feel like a Guy Ritchie film and Guy Ritchie directed it, it'd probably be like a 3.6 for me.
Yeah, fair.
Like a director's
he brings it.
a director's stance on something
Yeah.
really does a lot for me
Yeah.
because
And I
it's a
like
stamp.
the like shifting through the yellow laundry. Like that was cool. I like the way that looked.
anyways, Josh.
I would give it a 4.5.
Oh fuck.
Ah, here we go.
This is why we do
Milligram.
a rating of 0 out of 5.
Yeah.
Well, I mean, because I was
Points
thinking about
true.
it myself, because I was like, what I would like to be better about is giving solid numbers, like 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and not giving the 4 points.
Well,
And, like
okay.
if I
look,
have a
points.
4.5 in my mind, it's like, well, in math you round up and it would be
Yeah.
a 5, but for this, like it's not a 5, so I have to give it the 4.5 because it's not a 5.
Oh, so you're trying to do
not.
half numbers at this point, not like 4.2 or something.
Yeah.
But I would say like this, dude. I remember we were like 4.375.
Yeah.
Yeah.
No
I'm
more
like,
of that.
Oh, come
No.
on.
Except you did it too.
You're like,
I actually,
And
As
then
a
the next
joke.
episode, you're like, I've never done that. I was like, last episode, go back and listen.
I try to stay away from the funny enough the whole numbers.
Yeah.
I like to go up to like 3.9
yeah.
or like
4.1.
if it lives inside 4, it'll be a 4.1. I never give it
As like a standing up to the man, like you're not a 4.
yeah.
You're a 3.9, my friend.
You're 4.1.
yeah. Right above that benchmark.
You're a C
Yeah.
plus, not a B.
exactly.
Corey.
It's a 3.
Yep.
It's 3 out
I
of
had
5.
a number in my head too. I was like, he's gonna give it a 3.
Yeah.
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 I was thinking like 3.5, but yeah,
I was thinking
That's good.
Yeah.
No.
just enough of those things that
It's just a lot
Pick
of
you up.
different things added up. I didn't leave stoked. And like you
Yeah.
said, leaving is a big part of it. And I left more just kind of like, damn,
No.
I wanted to like that more. And I don't know what exactly the sauce was that didn't come together,
Mhm.
but it just didn't leave an impact on me. And nothing was truly, for me, my experience, nothing stood out as truly remarkable or memorable.
for a movie as romantic
Mhm.
as this, that's like the most romantic Disney movie. That's like about love.
Beauty and the Beast is
Right?
supposed to be.
That's Stockholm Syndrome.
But it's supposed to be really romantic.
It's true.
It's supposed to be that
But-
true love breaks a curse.
But
That
the
is-
plot isn't.
Yeah.
It's
like,
not a plot
around
the
the
guy
love.
gets the girl. It's a
Yeah.
plot of like guy
The plot of
finds
Aladdin,
love even
Stockholm
though in a place
Syndrome.
where
Right.
he can't find love.
Mhm.
but the plot of the upfront in your face plot of Aladdin is
Yeah.
guy wants to get girl.
I think I just think my main thing is how Aladdin was treated, and I had trouble getting lost because I didn't empathize with the main character.
Oh, sorry, I didn't even finish my point.
Yeah.
For
had
as
a
romantic
point?
of a movie
No, just
that it
kidding.
was, a lot of the movie they were separate
Mhm.
and they didn't have a lot of shared experiences, especially in the second act. I think
Yeah.
that was where the downfall, quote unquote,
Yeah,
would have been.
for me.
For you.
I think his back foot was a little too much.
So yeah,
I love it.
But yeah.
I feel complete.
Shout out to, I'm not completed. Shout out to the scene where
I tried.
Will Smith is courting Nassim Pedra's character and she keeps
yeah.
saying like, "1 moment, please."
Yeah.
Just her delivery. of
I've
that is
never done this
perfect.
before, and I want children.
Her delivery was like,
she's
Perfection.
phenomenal in everything she does.
Yeah.
Like
Yeah.
every time I see her on screen, I go, she's gonna be good.
she added
She's gonna be great.
real good value to this.
Yeah,
Yeah.
But
Great.
also, Naomi,
yeah.
Kitty
Kitty Pryde, I'm telling you, dude.
if you're out
that would
there,
work really well.
She
you
was
want-
for
she
me.
brings
She
it,
was
man.
the saving grace of this film.
Naomi Scott, if
100%.
If you
I
ever-
left. That's what I talked about.
Guys, I'm
most when I
trying to
left.
propose. If you guys if you ever wanted to take
So anyway,
a
I
stroll,
left talking mostly about.
I see an Oscar in her.
I would have seen a whole Jasmine movie.
Oh yeah, they could have made a Jasmine.
to Josh's detriment. I was thinking about the original song. Do you think it'd probably get nominated for an Academy Award for original music for
which
Naomi
one?
Scott's song?
Speechless.
Oh, the performance is great. I don't remember the melody.
I don't know if it.
It wasn't catchy enough.
So
Yeah.
a
was a good song and a
rotten
good performance,
A rotten
but-
review said that it's a reheated version of Let It
Go. I've heard that too. It's stupid.
No, I don't agree.
No.
I loved the performance and I loved how she sang it, and that
but
whole
I
scene
can't tell
to
you
me.
the lyrics.
That's very short.
That whole scene to me is the only one I like vividly remember,
Yeah.
and I still can't remember the melody. And I wish I could because I loved it.
Yeah.
But
I remember the melody. No,
Do you? I was like, yeah,
but we
didn't
can
think
talk
so.
about it. We
Anyway.
can talk about it on a
I
stroll.
remembered Let It Go for quite a while after Frozen.
yeah.
Yeah. Well, now we are complete.
Yes.
I'm complete.
I give you
Yeah,
permission to
we
end the
can-
show.
We're all in a gray area.
We're in some
He's a
great
bit of a
area.
fixer-upper.
Yeah. Wow. Well, everybody at home, thank you so much for listening. We appreciate you. If you are new to Nerd On, you can check out our website, nerdon.tv. It has all the information,
How do you do that, Tom? The pointing?
just all the pointing. And he's not going to do it. This is the time that he's not going to do it.
Well, Josh, you always get mad when someone interrupts you, so I'm letting you finish.
Yeah. It's cool. I'm not smart enough. Anyway, nerdon.tv has all the information about Nerd On, including our other show that we do, Nerd On the Update.
Nerd On
the
the
Nerd On Update.
I don't have to interrupt him.
The update.
No,
you
I can
need to
interrupt
deserve.
myself. Nerd On update. It is also weekly, and we talk about the news of recent that excited us and answer questions from viewers
Like you.
and listeners.
Where can they send us
like you.
questions?
You can send questions to questions@nerdon.tv. And they're questions like, if you could have a superpower, what would it be? It could even be like, what's your favorite color? There's all sorts of different stuff. You can ask
Which
us
tooth
about.
is best?
Yeah, exactly.
What is
So-
your favorite Disney live action adaptation?
Yeah.
This.
And
Who's your favorite superhero and why is it Batman?
Who's your new favorite Spider-Man?
We have another show, Trope Time. It is once a month, first Monday of every month, hosted by our friends Nikki and Izzy. But yeah, that's it. Thank you so much for listening. Thank you so much for dropping by, dropping us a review, sharing it with your friends, your family, all that good stuff. But you know the drill. As always,
Nerd on.
Ending broadcast.